Washington Dems propose new state budget. Postal Service workers rally ahead of contract negotiations. And it's Good Newsday Tuesday. So, over the weekend, there's a lot of confusion among travelers over whether TSA was still running PreCheck and global entry. So, the Department of Homeland Security said it would pause the programs amid the partial government shutdown, but the TSA PreCheck lanes remained open, and then DHS reversed their statement. It kind of felt like you ask mom one thing and then dad says something else. I don't know. I want to know, Hannah Krieg, Seattle's reporter without a boss and founder of The Burner, do you have PreCheck?
I do not, but I was very disturbed by this news because the fact that so many people do have PreCheck makes my travel experience quicker as someone who does not have PreCheck. So I was sad about the trickle-down effects that could happen.
Mm-hmm. No, you're a people's person, Hannah. You travel without having to pay that $90 to the government. What about you, executive producer Ashley Smith? Do you have PreCheck?
I do have PreCheck, and they will have to take it from my cold, dead hands. I'm never taking my shoes off again. No, absolutely not. Not to mention, PreCheck makes it easier. Like, it makes TSA's job easier. So getting rid of that, just seems silly, but so does everything.
So does everything. It's so true. Okay, also over the weekend, Washington Democrats released two new budget proposals. So there's one from the Senate and one from the House. They both propose changes to this biennium's spending plan, which started last summer and ends in June of next year. The bottom line is that we're still going to have a big old deficit for 2027. So around $900 million. So both the House and Senate plans propose dipping into Washington's rainy day savings to the tune of at least $750 million. So the Senate proposes taking out $750 million. The House proposes $880 million. It's so much money. I'm curious if you all have heard about this new budget or have questions about it.
So we have a rainy day savings is what I'm hearing. This is news to me. Being Washington State, is our rainy day savings bigger than other states? Like, do we have a lot more to pull from since we just have more rain?
It would seem fitting. It would seem fitting. I actually don't know the numbers at play here.
Okay.
Hannah, do you happen to know that?
No, I don't know how much is in the rainy day fund.
I hope it's a lot.
Yes. Well, clearly it's at least $880 million, or they could not be pulling that much money out. So for these two new plans, there are mostly plans to try and cut things. So you all might remember at the end of last year, Governor Bob Ferguson said that he was going to be focused mostly on an austerity budget. So we were going to be tightening that belt. We were going to be cutting things to make sure that we did not go into too big a deficit. So there are a few major things. The Senate proposes cutting tax breaks to data centers, and that could raise about $30 million. Both the House and Senate propose saving potentially hundreds of millions of dollars by making changes to childcare for low-income residents. The Senate proposes cutting funds to programs that would help kids transition to kindergarten and also for long-term care facilities. What do you all think about those being the places that we're making cuts?
Gross.
Yeah,
In a word.
It's all forced. Like this is a completely awful solution that we do not have to do this. There's no reason that they have to cut childcare, early education, early childcare for low income families. There's no reason. It's completely contrived.
What is the political move there? Like, is it just that we don't expect to see a lot of pushback, or is that just seen as less necessary than other things? Is it really just the only thing we can cut right now?
I think the pushback of everyday people matters less to the Washington Democrats than the pushback of their wealthy donors. And their wealthy donors maybe don't give as much of a fuck about low-income childcare or like K through 12 education as the average person, for which that is probably the paramount expectation that our state would pay for.
Speaking of wealthy people, one of the places that this new money seems to not be coming from is estate taxes. So the Democrats are proposing reversing an increase in estate taxes out of fears that people might move out of the state. We talked about that a little bit on the pod last week. Apparently, that's going to lose us potentially $45 million in this budget cycle and potentially in the long term for the next budget cycle, $390 million. And I'm curious to hear what you all think of this. I know $45 million in the grand scheme of, a $900 million deficit is kind of chump change, but what does this mean about what our politicians are thinking right now, and what is the possibility of us losing out on that money in the long term?
I feel like the millionaire's tax moving forward has like created some sort of like, we must balance this out. And so like we'll take back the estate tax and we can't upset the rich people too much. And then maybe that was like part of balancing of like, well, if we're taking from the highest earners and we'll also take a little bit from the lowest, which is why they're low income cut. I don't know. None of it really seems to make that much sense. And I just feel like there's got to be more thought put in. I just don't understand. I feel like I'm so dumb. I just don't understand how budgets work in general. We pay so much in taxes in this state. How are we always in a deficit? My car tabs cost like hundreds of dollars every year. Like we have a 10% sales tax. Like how are we always in a deficit? Like there has to be. I just feel like we should be like rolling in dough in this state, and that's just absolutely not what's happening apparently.
I think Ashley's definitely correct that there is a trade. There's a trade going on here where the Democrats are talking to big business, they're talking to the ultra wealthy and saying, "What can we do to make you not attack us for this millionaire's tax?" And what they can do is they can bake in a $500 million corporate handout in within the billionaire's tax, and they can roll back the recent expansion to the state tax based on entirely anecdotal evidence of people moving, which Senator Jamie Peterson even admits in the Seattle Times that there is no data to prove this. It's just anecdotes. It's just anxiety. And so there's certainly like a trade happening here to protect this millionaire's tax, which is designed to give these incumbents a progressive gloss as they go up against challengers in 2026, especially in the wake of the Zohran Mamdani movement, where they're afraid that they're going to get this populist challenger. Many of them are afraid they're going to get populist challengers, and so they have to do something to tax the rich, and this is what they're doing. And they're still having austerity.
Tax is a very catchy name. I think people are maybe not paying as much attention to an estate tax that was already passed. It seems like it's maybe easier to roll back something that already happened and then promote this flashy new thing called the millionaire's tax.
And I would add something. I would say that it's very damaging to roll back something that already exists, because this is something that's bringing in money today, whereas the millionaire's tax isn't going to bring in money until 2029. And so as we're facing all this austerity, the state Democrats are like volunteering away tax dollars that we were already planning on raising, and stuff that we can't get back in the millionaire's tax until 2029.
Not to mention, what a waste of time and resources to like pass something, start doing it, and then decide to roll it back later. Like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Why? Just seems unnecessary.
If you are moving out of the state because of this estate tax, I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear your reasoning. I suppose that people who have that much money who would actually be affected by it are exactly the people who could more easily make a move. But I'm thinking for me, uprooting my whole life to just get out of paying some taxes, I don't know that the math would math for me, but I guess, I'm not in that tax bracket. So what happens from here? I know that the Senate and the House Dems have to negotiate, and they got to come up with a plan before March 12th, which is the end of this legislative session. Hannah, I know you had covered the fact that Sean Scott might be proposing some amendments to this. Tell us what he is thinking about here.
Yeah, so at a town hall this weekend, Representative Sean Scott of the 43rd LD said something about the millionaire's tax, which his seatmate Jamie Peterson proposed, and his intention to edit out that corporate tax break, which will lose the state $500 million in revenue. And I'm not sure if that's going to be a super popular move or if like a bunch of people are going to join Representative Scott. Another thing that House members should be looking at in that millionaire's tax is a sales tax repeal that Senator Marco Lias proposed and passed in an amendment on the floor in the Senate, which is going to cost in perpetuity hundreds of millions of dollars a year. This the corporate handout I was just talking about that Scott is after is a one-time handout, whereas this is going to save business to business sales tax. So it's like still getting rid of a regressive sales tax, but it's like a business to business sales tax on like temporary staffing. So not really like the sales tax of the people that they're getting rid of. And so that's going to lose the state hundreds of millions of dollars, which potentially the Democrats in the House will look at repealing.
What do we think is the likelihood of any of these amendments actually getting through? Like, do we sense that they're going to be popular amendments that have support, or are these kind of a little pie in the sky right now?
With the corporate handout, I would think that's pretty pie in the sky just because in the entire 3 hours of debate on the Senate, not a single Democrat even mentioned the corporate handout that's being baked in. It seems like they don't want constituents to be talking about that. They want like this to be like an overwhelmingly positive bill. And anytime someone says something negative about it, it's like, well, you're a purist, you're like a communist, you're a whatever. So I think it's pretty pie in the sky, but we'll see.
We will see. I think that is the end result here. We've still got a few weeks left in the session, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of back and forth to figure out exactly how every penny is spent. All right, let's take a break, and when we come back, let's talk about Postal Service workers who are rallying for better contracts. Over the weekend, members of the National Association of Letter Carriers, which is the union for postal carriers, held a rally in West Seattle. So there were rallies across the entire country as contract negotiations are scheduled to start tomorrow for postal workers. I thought it was really cute. The West Seattle blog covered it and had a little video, too, of the union brass band that played at the rally. So I was looking at the letter carrier pay schedule for these postal workers, and their annual salaries range from $52,000 to $84,000, which I think in the Seattle area, that is solidly middle class. It's a very worker salary. I mean, you all can probably guess what they're asking for. If you have been following this, you might already know, but I guess I'm curious to hear what you think postal service workers would be asking for here.
I mean, I'm shocked to hear that they make so little. I guess I thought because it's like a government job that they're supposed to get better benefits or at least decent benefits. But yeah, I figured they would be making more than that. In Seattle, that's on the low end for sure.
Yeah, I think those are their base salaries. So I imagine even on the high end of that, I can't imagine it going so much higher.
Yeah.
I mean, that would qualify you for like many of the low income programs in Seattle. So now like the government is then subsidizing their wages anyway by having low income apartments. So, you know, the cycle. But yeah, I imagine they're asking for more money.
More money. Yes, that seems to be a big one. One of the things they focused on were that they do get cost of living raises, but they're not very big. So you might have heard of cost of living raises referred to as COLAs. The West Seattle blog said that speakers kept referring to the COLAs that they get as diet colas because it's strictly not enough. They also were talking about just all of the demands on your body that this job requires. You got to walk miles every day. You got to carry a bunch of heavy stuff. Postal service workers have been seeing more assaults and potential for bodily harm. Like if someone's got a dog that isn't correctly corralled in the yard, they are at risk from that. I mean, I guess I'm really curious to hear what you all think about postal carriers' role in our society now. I think for so long they were seen as a pillar of society. Do we still feel like they are?
I don't know.
Ooh.
Well, just because of, I mean, everything everything is tech now. Everything has moved forward. We all use Amazon. People don't use letters and postcards and stamps as much anymore. And so I guess that's what I think of when I think about the postal service. But I know that they're very important to our society. I know I want to have my mail delivered, but I definitely think things are changing, and maybe that's being reflected on how they're seen as well.
Yeah, do you guys still send snail mail? Is that a thing for you all?
Very
I don't even
rarely.
know where my mail key is, but I'm a postal worker defender. My mom was a postal worker
Mine
for
too,
many years,
Hannah.
so
Nice.
I'm a
What? You all
defender.
are both children of postal workers?
Yeah, yeah.
Dang. No way. What are the odds?
I know, that's kind of crazy, random.
So it's a respectable job. It's a hard job. I think they deserve to be paid a living wage like anybody. And to me, I feel like what's happening is what's happening everywhere. Everything is more expensive. That makes people frustrated. That makes people desperate. That causes understandable tension and protest. And it's happening in every career, every business. Everyone's overworked. Everyone's underpaid. And tech is either taking their jobs or making their jobs harder. And I don't know. That's what I think of when I see this.
Yeah. I mean, I do think you're right, Ashley, that fewer people are using snail mail. I still go out of my way to because I really like getting things in the mail. I have a few friends that we go out of our way to send little letters or cards to each other just because it's fun to open
Yeah.
your mailbox and get something that isn't either a bill or an ad that you immediately put in the recycling bin. I'm curious, do you all know your mail carriers? Well, I mean, clearly you all knew your moms who were mail carriers, but currently, do you all know your mail carriers?
Yeah, Hannah, if you don't even know where your mail key is,
I'm
No, I
guessing no,
used to
yeah.
know my old one at my old building, and I had a mail key problem there too, and we were close enough that he would sometimes just bring it to my door because he's like, "You're not checking your mail enough, so I can't fit, I can't fit anything in here."
It's like, this
which
girl
is
needs
really
help.
nice. Yeah.
I do know mine. We had some beef. I'm sure I've talked about it on the podcast before, but over the summer when I moved into a new place, me and my mail carrier were kind of in I don't even know what you call it. I want to call it a war. That seems crazy. But the house that I moved into had a bunch of trees surrounding it, including an apple tree that was dropping apples on the sidewalk. And he refused to step over the apples or duck under a tree, and therefore he didn't want to deliver mail to my house at all. And so he stopped for a couple months. And I had to go through his supervisor to try to get mail delivered again.
Wow.
Because I had no problem getting in and out of my house. Neither did Amazon, UPS, FedEx, DoorDash, et cetera, et cetera. It was just this guy. But I ended up cutting back the trees anyway and getting the apples cleared out. And after summer, everything chilled anyway. But yeah, I know that guy. I'm familiar.
I know that guy. If that guy is listening, cut it out. Cut it out. It is wild how much power your mail carrier has to make one small part of your life a living hell.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard friends have similar situations where they then have to go down to the main postal office building to get their mail every so often, and you feel like you're just kind of walking through the bowels of hell, and it's just not a great time. I mean,
Yep.
Ashley, you mentioned, FedEx drivers, UPS drivers had no problem making these deliveries. I think that one of the things that these postal service workers are pointing out is that their job has changed significantly in the last decade with how often people are ordering packages and how many more parcels they have to deliver. I'm curious to hear what you think the future of USPS is, especially here, where I feel like companies like Amazon are such a big part of the city fabric.
Yeah, I feel like at some point, I mean, it's bleak to think about, and I don't even know if it's possible. I just kind of imagine USPS falling under the Amazon umbrella somehow. If they continue to just kind of take over everything and are the only company with enough money to deliver packages or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of what I envision our future to look like, or I guess just less and less snail mail.
Yeah, they are getting less federal funding and just less support overall. And every time I look into shipping a package, I'm finding that the prices are more and more similar between FedEx, UPS, and USPS, which I always want to support the public program, but sometimes just financially it doesn't end up making sense if something is going to cost less and get there quicker through a private company.
I was gonna say the one thing I do use snail mail for is like if I'm selling something on like Depop or Poshmark,
Mm.
I'll like print out the label and package it up and drop it off at USPS. And that seems like a really easy, streamlined process in which, as far as I know, I don't overpay for that. And that's really a really great service that I would like to continue using. But that's kind of the most thing. That's what I do the most when it comes to like USPS these days.
Yeah, I don't use it very much at all. So it does kind of suck when it's like you want to defend the thing that is like the public program, as Jane said. But it's like if I'm not actually using it and I don't know anyone who is, it's like it becomes like a more difficult conversation, and definitely sad to see like private companies, like usurp something that is like, like one of our really like big public infrastructure things. Like we don't have a lot of stuff like this.
Yeah.
What if we just brought back guys actually riding horses around and putting stuff in our mailboxes? You think that would help?
That might boost morale, you
Absolutely.
should talk to the union about that. They might put that in their contract.
Good luck to those horses trying to get up all the stairs in our city, though.
And get around Ashley's apples.
Good luck. Yeah,
Actually, that would be a plus. They could eat the apples.
That's true.
Then they're going to complain like the horses won't move past that house. They're feasting out there. We can't deliver the rest of the mail.
You're
It's
getting
always going to be a
all
problem.
the mail now.
I was gonna say 2 birds, 1 scone there. Like you get the mail delivered, the horses get a little snack, everyone wins.
Actually, yeah, that would solve my apple tree problem if we could just have the horses come by every day and eat as much as they want. Yeah, if anybody wants to make that happen, let me know.
All right, let's take a break. And when we come back, let's talk about some good news. It is Tuesday again, which means it is time for Good Newsday Tuesday, where we talk about something good that has happened in the last week. Ashley, Hannah, do either of you have any good news that you want to shout out? I got a few things here, but I want you all to kick things off.
Yeah, I think I do. Punch the monkey. If I don't know, I assume everyone's been following Punch's story.
Explain it for people who have not been, but yes, I've been heavily invested.
The adorable abandoned baby monkey at a zoo in Japan that went viral because he was abandoned and he was just given a stuffed animal for a mom and he dragged it around and it was like the sweetest, saddest thing because the other monkeys were being mean to him and not accepting him. And we were all pretty devastated and thinking about whether or not we should arm him in some way so that he can defend himself or if we needed to send in the military.
Give Punch a bat, a gun.
Yes. But things have turned around for that little guy. He's been accepted now. He has friends. That made me happy. I don't know. And then other than that, for Valentine's Day, I got a bouquet of flowers from the Pike Place Market that had cherry blossom stems in it, which at the time just kind of looked like some crazy sticks, but they bloomed in my house. So now I have cherry blossoms in the house, which I did not know was a thing.
That's so
Didn't
sweet.
either. That's amazing.
Right? They're beautiful. Like, highly recommend getting yourself some cherry blossoms. Or I guess now I'm just really excited for cherry blossom season, which is coming up soon. So
It's definitely coming up. I've been seeing little buds on trees for the last week or so.
yeah, it's a little early, which is
It's
concerning.
Good Newsday Tuesday, Ashley.
You're right.
Thank
I'm
you
sorry.
very
I'm
much.
sorry. It's so nice
Stop
out
making
there.
about climate change.
No, we're not. We got the rose-colored glasses on right now.
Please. It's crazy how quick it turns, good news to climate catastrophe.
It's a fine line.
Yeah, it really is.
Speaking of seasonal joys, one of my seasonal joys has come back around, which is that it's Girl Scout cookie season.
Yeah.
Got to get 85 boxes of Samoas and eat them in 2 weeks. Gotta hang out with all the Girl Scouts in front of the grocery store. I don't know if any of you were Girl Scouts, but I was. And I remember getting all these little prizes for selling cookies. So I feel I don't know if they still do that or not. Honestly, I kind of feel like I hope they don't, because it's like, let's cosplay capitalism as 8-year-olds. But I want those kids to have everything they want. So I'm like, I'm helping the cause by buying all the cookies, but I'm looking forward to cookie season.
Did you get a badge and like a prize?
So I think my most prized possession from selling Girl Scout cookies were these amazing cookie boxers. Like, they had weird anthropomorphic cartoons of each cookie on these little boxer briefs, and I wore them as pajamas for like my entire childhood. And I'm really sad because I don't know where they went. But yeah, you got weird little prizes like that. You did get a badge, and I think your troop got some amount of money to go do something fun.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. Hannah, what's your good news?
I thought I should find something state ledge related since I was talking so much smack about the budget. There are good things in the budget. I just have an
Yay.
attitude. But
Don't we all?
I feel that, yeah.
The new budget proposals, both the House and the Senate proposals, will fully restore funding to the Abortion Access Fund,
Hell yeah.
which it's kind of their fault it didn't have funding in the first place, so there's a dunk in it too. But last year, the state legislature defunded this abortion access fund by like 55%, like super quietly, just like within the budget. And that like left an $8.5 million gap in abortion care that like really helped low income people receive care. And in this budget, they brought that money back. And so the Planned Parenthood, people are really excited about that. I'm really excited about that. It's a Good Newsday Tuesday.
That's awesome. Hell yeah. I didn't know that.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. My last little piece of good news is that there has been a new mosaic spotted at Pike Place that people are calling Fat Rat Summer. It seems to be by the same person who did Hot Rat Summer. So we're going to have another Hot Rat Summer in 2026, calling it now, manifesting it, because we kind of need it. I feel like last summer was not hot or fun.
No.
It was just
It
rat.
felt
Yeah.
kind of the vibes were rancid, I gotta say. Like,
Yeah.
no one knew what to do last summer after the high of Hot Rat Summer 2024. So calling it that we're gonna have Fat Rat Summer 2026, and I'm gonna try and go see this mosaic in person today. So
It looks little. Is it just like hidden somewhere?
it looks like it's on the side of a ramp potentially.
Mhm.
I will report back. To me, it looked big. I thought it was.
That's so
it
funny.
looked sizable to me, but
Okay.
we'll see. We'll see.
I was also envisioning little when I saw the picture of it, but I guess there was no hand for comparison.
True. No banana for
So-
scale. We have no
Yeah.
idea. But yeah, I'm excited you're going to go see that, Jane.
I know this is important journalism. Thank you for your work.
Yes. Salute to
Yeah. Yeah.
you.
I mean, I'm just all for new pieces of public art, and I am glad to see that the artist who did the original Hot Rat Summer mosaic is, still working on new stuff,
They're still
delighting
at
us
it.
all.
Delighting us all.
I'm here for Fat Rat Summer. That sounds wonderful. There's some girls on TikTok that do something called Fatter Day, which is just like on Saturday they go eat all of the delicious things they want to eat and like do not care. And that's beautiful to me. So
Beautiful.
yes, please.
That's basically what I did yesterday by going to PCC and buying every little snack that I wanted, and then walking, and a bouquet of flowers. Speaking of your nice thing, Ashley, and realizing that I spent $75 and was like, well, that was not very financially responsible, but that's okay. If our state is in a $900 million budget deficit, I can be in a $75 budget deficit and probably survive.
Absolutely.
That's a great perspective to have, and I need to adopt that. Just like if they can't figure out how to spend all the money they get, it's like I can give myself a little grace that I can't always figure out how to spend my little dimes,
I mean, money isn't real.
That's
I
true.
don't know that this is maybe too much to get into at the end of our podcast.
Yeah,
but
we're at 30 minutes.
Well, next time on CityCast Seattle, we'll be talking about how money isn't real. That's all for today here. And Hannah, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And Ashley, thank you for being here. Please send me a picture of these cherry blossoms.
Oh, I will, for sure.
Okay. I'm your host, Jane C. Hu, and listeners, thank you so much for joining us today. Remember that we always love hearing from you guys. Send us your news tips, your questions, your hot goss, your thoughts about Hot Rat Summer 2026. You can send us an email at seattle@citycast.fm. You can also text us or leave us a voicemail on the CityCast hotline at 206-880-3931. I also wanted to shout out a few of our new CityCast Seattle neighbors: Desley B, Janet S, Alex E, John H, Amy S, Sanders L, Julie J, Michelle M, Casey R, and Heidi C. Thank you all so much for joining us. We're super excited to have you all on board. Until next time, see you, Seattle.